Right guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. In this one I've just got a long-term review to do on a set of ICAN Aero 40s rim brake clincher carbon wheels. So let's go ahead, let's get into it. Right, so here we have the rear wheel. Like I say, these are Aero 40s clincher rim brake carbon 40mm deep. These use Sapim spokes and a Novatec hub front and rear. Obviously you can get them with the DT Swiss ones as well for a higher price. So I run in the 25mm tyres on these, which are spot on fit on there, so you can see that. Now being as these have done about 6,000 miles, so there's very minimal wear there on the braking surface on them. I run them with Swiss stop carbon pads on there. Now braking in the wet on these is the same as any other rim brake carbon fibre wheel, which is rubbish in the wet compared to an aluminium wheel. All carbon wheels are the same when they're rim brake clinchers. It's just the way they are. They just don't stop in the wet very well in comparison to an aluminium wheel. Even they just don't stop. So the hubs, Novatec straight pull hub. Now these hubs are bomb proof hubs if you look after them, i.e. servicing them regularly and just keep on top of them. The bearings in them, obviously it doesn't matter if they come with cheaper bearings, because you have to keep the price down to a point somehow, so they're bound to come with not like real high quality bearings in them, but you can change them out when the bearings are worn. Just change them for some different ones. One of the bearings in these is a 6802 and one of them is a 15267. So the 15267 is an odd size, so to speak, bearing. So there's only a few sort of manufacturers that make that bearing. Really, you can't get them as readily as a 6802. Loads of manufacturers make them, so you can get them quite easily in a high quality bearing. But the other side, the 15267, is a bit more awkward to get. You're sort of more limited for the choice of manufacturers, but so to speak. But other than that, the hub itself and the free hub as well, if you service that, you can put different bearings in there as well, and they're pretty bomb proof really. As long as you look after them, you don't get a lot of trouble out of them at all. The free hub on these, the body itself, has got an anti-bite guard on there for the cassette, so you stop the cassette biting in, which works okay on them. But what you'll find is the anti-bite guard is bonded onto the free hub body on these, so sometimes for some reason it has a tendency to come unbonded, and the strip, the anti-bite guard strip, which I'll show you on there, which is that's bonded on this strip there. Obviously the aluminium, the free hub body is aluminium on them, but the strip is supposed to obviously help it not get so many bad teeth marks on there from the cassette. But that strip is bonded on. Sometimes that can come unbonded for no apparent reason off of there, so you just have to be careful of that. It can happen. Sometimes you just never get a problem with it, but sometimes it could come unbonded on yours, for instance. It just depends. So regards to teeth marks, obviously this one's new here, so there's no teeth marks on that, but it doesn't matter, because any aluminium free hub body, doesn't matter what it is, will get teeth marks in it. So that's irrelevant. They all get teeth marks in them. So for instance, there's a DT Swiss one, and as you can see, all the marks on that where the cassette's bitten into it. So cassette and free hub bodies and teeth marks, it doesn't matter, they all get them. because if it's aluminium it's going to bite into it soft. So unless it's steel obviously, then it's a bit more you know, a bit more harder wearing, but aluminium it's bound to get them. So obviously that's the rear wheel. So what we'll do is we'll take a look at the front one as well. So here we have the front wheel again, 40mm deep. Uses a Novatec hub, obviously rim brake again this one. You can see, Sapien spoke, straight pull again. So this particular wheel has been crash damaged. So this is 100% straight up review. That wheel there has been crashed heavy straight into a car at roughly 25 miles an hour, straight impact, hard enough to snap the forks clean off the bike. So I'll show you now. If you bear in mind that impact, the wheel is still in one piece. Spokes are all perfect on it. It's only slightly out of true, but it's sort of egg shaped, so to speak. So when you're looking at the wheel head on, it rises and falls like that as it's going round. But it's still in one piece. If that was an aluminium wheel and you hit it that hard, it would have just folded in half, basically, that wheel, if it was aluminium. So that is remarkably strong considering the force, the impact. So on it, I'll just try and show you the damaged area. You see, you get it in the light best I can. You can't really see it that well, but just here, obviously you can see the smudged decal there. That's where the brakes blocks were on the rim, and then when it was hit, the wheel went up like that, and it just smudged the brake blocks, smudged it like that. But the point of impact is there, and there's basically, you see that there's a soft spot there in the carbon in the layers. So it's gone soft there. It's like a tennis ball pushing into a tennis ball. You see that? So there's sort of an area like that there. This is all hard still, and this area here is soft. Just a soft spot in it, in there. So that's where the impact was. But I say, the wheel actually survived in one piece. It didn't explode or anything. So very strong. Now, if you purchase these wheels when they're new, they come with this rim tape, blue rim tape, you can see there. Now, what I recommend is get some better rim tape than that. That's some cheap rim tape, and it's also because the rim depth inside there, in the middle there, when it pushes down into the recess there, when you warm the tape up even to apply it, you can warm it up. It's not wide enough, because when it pushes down into that recess bit there, the tape's not quite wide enough. It needs to be a little bit wider than the supplied tape. So that tape is just some cheap stuff, obviously, to keep the cost down of the wheels. They come with brake blocks as well. Like I said, I use the Swiss stop brake blocks instead of the supplied ones that they come with in the box. So that's that rim tape they come with, is that. So I'd recommend getting some better quality tape than that. That's some cheap stuff, that is. It's not very nice to apply neither to the rims. So like I said, with these they use the Novatec hub Sapien spokes. So obviously the only thing you're reviewing really, because that's Novatec, they use those hubs on loads of different wheels, and you can just buy those hubs, a front and rear hub, you can just buy those hubs anyway, and then you could just buy your spokes and a rim and you could build your own wheel. So the hubs and the spokes aren't manufactured by them anyway. You're only really it's just the rim that's made. They make the rim, they don't make the Sapim spokes obviously, and the Novatec hubs. It's like I've got a wheel there, it uses, that's a Novatec hub, exactly the same, straight pull, that uses DT Swiss spokes on there, because that's a prime wheel. As you see there, they've just removed the Novatec sign off of it and put a prime sign on there, so it's exactly the same except it uses DT spokes, DT Swiss spokes, and obviously the prime rim, or it's got their logo on it, obviously manufactured probably in China, the same as these are, come from China. Now the added bonus of say a prime wheel, this is a 38 depth, same hub as that, as I just showed, 38, and that's a 40. Now the advantage with this is these obviously are available online from Chain Reaction or Wiggle Cycles. I'm not sponsored by them, just telling you, 100% honest review. So if anything goes wrong with this, obviously, and you're in the UK, you've got those, you can contact them straight, no problem, you can contact them easy. If anything goes wrong with that and you need to contact them or whatever, send them back, etc., then they're based in China, so you're not going to, from the UK, you're not going to put them in the box again. They come in and air freight that all the way back to China, for instance, because it costs you a fortune, so you just wouldn't do it. So always bear that in mind. They might be slightly cheaper or whatever, but if you get a problem, obviously what are you going to do about it? You can't contact them as easily as you can with somebody like a big company, like for instance Wiggle, Chain Reaction, whatever. You know, they're easier to get hold of than obviously ICAN. You try and contact them about a problem or send them back, for instance. So that's one thing always to bear in mind with these wheels when people are doing a review on them, showing you this, that and the other. But they don't say about if you get a problem you've got to send them back, that sort of thing. And it's the other side of the world. And bear in mind costs. If you got to return, imagine the cost of it to return, an absolute fortune. So we have the wheel with the rim tape removed, so you can have a look how clean the surface is with the carbon. Now obviously you've got joins in these as it goes round, like just here, as you see. That's how clean it is, that's untouched, exactly how it came. You can just about feel that with your finger, just. But it's not rough or anything to the touch. I say they've been, obviously this wheel has been used, so that's just how it came. And then you go round, you've got the joints. There's another one there. Again, you can't really feel that. Only you just about feel it. There's nothing. It's not rough or anything. So there we have the front wheel dismantled. You've got the hub there, and then obviously you've got a steel flat blade spoke, Sapim spoke, aluminium nipple there, the square head on the top, just in case you're wondering what they were. So there we have the rim cut in half for you. So we'll take a look at it inside. Now, as I showed earlier, it had that mark on the rim where the impact was. So what I did is I cut directly straight through that where the damaged area was, the soft spot. And when you look at it now, you can see, we'll see, what I'll do is I'll push on this side. So I'll push on that side the rim. As you can see, it's not moving. I'll push on this side the rim. You can see the difference. That side is still hard. This side where the impact was, it's soft. And what it's done there is it's come away from the brake track slightly. There, comes away there, if you can see that or not. That's the soft spot, you can see. Nice and squidgy that is. That's where the damage was done. But I say down inside, I'll show you the other half. We'll take a look down in there if we can. If you can see in there very well or not. Don't think we struggle to get it in the light to see it in there, but they're clean inside. There'd be a little bit of dust in there. That's where just where I cut them, where I cut it through. But as for anything noticeable in there, they're smooth, quite smooth inside. So as you can see there, the rims on the inside are nice and clean, and let's face it, it's the rims that you're buying, because the spokes, like I said earlier, and the hubs are not, they don't manufacture those, so they just fit them to their own rims. So it's the rims that count, and they are, as you can see, by cutting the wheel in half, you can see that they're nice and clean on the inside. So that is a major plus. So I presume like disc wheels would probably be the same quality on the inside of them. So would I recommend buying them? Obviously, like I said, those wheels have done about 6,000 miles. Never had a problem with them. And until, unfortunately, the front one got damaged, they were running absolutely perfect, true as they came straight out of the box. Never had a problem, never had to adjust them. All you got to do is make sure you service the hubs, but you have to do that with any wheel you buy. Doesn't matter what the hub is, unless you service it, change your bearings, etc. Then doesn't matter how expensive the wheel is, you're basically wasting your time if you don't change the bearings, because that's what it's rolling on at the end of the day. So would I recommend them? Yes, I would. But if anybody obviously has had any experience with the with customer service, etc., then you're more than welcome to put it down in the comments below, just for other people. You know, like I said earlier, being as you can't actually physically, they're not, say, in the UK, you know, if you have a problem, are they easy to contact, do they actually do anything, etc, etc. So if you found that review helpful, remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more cycle related content. Till next one, ride safe, and I'll see you then.